The sound of Wiltshire.
BBC Radio Wiltshire Breakfast.
BBC
Radio Wiltshire.
Now, let's get to that story I mentioned briefly earlier, and a relay which is covering more than, 1,600 miles from Ben Nevis to Big Ben is in Bradford-on-Avon today, making its way from Bath to Oxford. The Running Out of Time relay aims to inspire the nation to take action to reach net zero and protect the natural world. And we can speak to Rowena Quantrill now from Climate Friendly BOA, who helped to organise part of the run. Rowena, good morning.
Good morning.
Listen, it's a balance, isn't it, by having to open people's eyes but not thoroughly depress them?
Well, this is what this relay's doing such a good job, because we're talking about running out of time. We're talking about the fact that if you're running out of time, you have to get moving, you have to get on with things, which is the symbolism of the relay. But they're visiting lots of brilliant projects along the way, which really give you hope. These are the things that are happening. We need more of them, but they're possible. You know, the answers are there. The scientists know the answers are there. We just need government and all the population to get behind them and really back the action that is needed to tackle this very, very urgent problem.
Yeah, and, you know, I'm not being cheeky. I'm just putting it out there. One might argue that it's far more positive and might lead to a bit of change more than throwing orange powder or paint over windows.
Well, they get climate change talked about. There are lots of different ways of doing it. You know, a lot of people might not like that way of doing it, but you know, I heard Dale Vince on television saying, well, as a result of their actions, I've been interviewed about climate change every day this week. So it's getting media attention.
Yeah.
It's, you know, how do you get the attention? That's one way of doing it.
Yeah, Dale Vince, the Forest Green Football Club owner, of course, and
that's right. Yeah,
the electric company, up there in Stroud Way. So the leg that you're involved in Wiltshire, what's going to be happening?
Oh gosh, we've got all sorts of things happening. The baton will be in Bradford about an hour, so it'll arrive from Bath along the canal. Then it's coming down to the river and being handed to a canoeist who's taking it down to the rowing club, where it's being handed to two coracles who are paddling it across the river, to giving it to some paddleboarders who are then going to paddleboard it down and then hand it to some skateboarders who will bring it back up, and possibly, I think, a horse and pony will hand it to some Morris dancers who will do a special Morris dance to pass it on. And then we've got school children from the two primary schools, the eco groups, and they're going to take it, the Christchurch group will take it up to Fitzmaurice, and they've been doing some curriculum work all around this, so it's great that, you know, the children are being involved, and then it'll be handed to some cyclists who will be going on with it towards Oxford.
Great. And all those things you mentioned, they're all reminders, aren't they, in a small way, of the fact that there are alternatives. We don't have to be hurtling to taking 5 flights a year or to buying the next big gizmo. You know, we've got to stop consuming, haven't we?
Yep. I mean, we've got this wonderful welcome banner that Alex Kay, who's the lead councillor on the environment, and she's designed and made it with help, all of recycled materials, you know, so we can reuse things. We're going to have leaflets about our brilliant repair cafes that we have every month in Bradford-on-Avon. You don't have to chuck your old stuff out. You can get it repaired. You can reuse it. We've had a lot recently on fashion and how, you know, you don't have to keep on going out and buying cheap new clothes. Reuse them, mend them, repurpose them. There's so many things we can do, and as you say, travel more in a more climate-friendly way. Don't keep taking flights, although it would really help if the government could step in and make trains a bit cheaper and flights a bit, you know, more expensive. They just lowered the the national air passenger duty. So it's all a matter of making adjustments, making it easier for people. People are pushed at the moment. It's not always easy being green. We've got to make it easier for people.
Yeah, I'm glad you raised that point, because people can sit in their ivory towers, can't they, and judge. But actually, do you know what? It comes to feeding your family and doing what you've got with the money that you've got. And sometimes that might not be the greenest thing to do.
But, you know, there are so many steps can be taken. a national programme of house insulation has got to happen. That'll help people bring their energy bills down. You can't expect people who are struggling to be doing it themselves, but if there was a whole national programme of it, that could make a huge difference.
Hey, what would you say finally, Rowena, if you were faced today with someone who said it's all overblown, climate change isn't happening? Because people exist out there who do say that kind of thing.
They do. I would say look at the scientific evidence, open your eyes, look at what's happening now. People are suffering, particularly in developing countries. They've done the least to cause it. And there are floods, there are fires. We had a stall at the Holy Trinity Street Market. A lady from California came along. She said, it's terrible, California. We have had these dreadful fires. You know, it is happening now. This is the thing. It's not something that's going to happen in the future. It is happening all around us, and the evidence is there, and anybody who denies it, well, they're just... I don't know. I can't get it into their mentality, to be honest.
Oh, okay. Yeah, choose your words carefully. Rowena, thank you. It's a family show. Rowena Quantrill, enjoyed that chat about what they're doing at Climate Friendly Bradford-on-Avon as part of that running out of time relay.